This is Dr.Naureen Sohail, and you're listening to Illuminate. I hear my mom's voice from the far past. Brush your teeth or wash your hands. Put your shoes on the rack. Day after day, my siblings and I used to hear the same instructions. We followed until they became our habits. In the book Atomic Habits, author James Clear states, "Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations." Now let's explore what a habit is. In the Britannica Dictionary, a habit is defined as a usual way of behaving, something that a person does often in a regular and repeated way. Often we are not even aware of our habits. Let me give you an example. What do you do when you first get out of your bed? Many of you may say, "I put on my slippers," or "I make my bed," etc. According to James Clear, whatever you do is stacked on your getting out of the bed. You have done it so many times that it is an automatic response by your body to getting out of the bed. In other words, your getting out of the bed acts as a trigger for this response. Now, this is important knowledge that can be used to our benefit. Habit forming conserves brain's energy, saving it for other more higher functioning actions like analyzing, inferring, problem solving. Habit forming can bring about change in your behavior. This change can be in your favor, for your betterment. I decided to apply James Clear's strategy to bring about change in myself. To bring this change, the first action is the decision to change. For example, if I want to read Quran every morning, I have to decide upon this as my goal. The next step is to be committed to it. So it's not just a wish on my part, it is a dedicated goal, and I'm committed to achieving it. Once I'm committed, I need to find a trigger. Trigger has to be an action that I already do every morning that will remind me to read the Holy Quran. It is something that I do every day and is already an established habit. It will act as a stacking point to my new habit of reading the Holy Quran every morning. For me, it was the perfect act of making tea in the morning. I click the button on the kettle and it triggers a response for me to open the Holy Quran. I read the Quran off an app on my phone. Here are the sequence of events that take place. I put a tea bag in a cup, fill the kettle with water, and click the button. I open my phone, go to the Holy Quran app. It opens to the verse where I left off yesterday. I read a few verses until the kettle switch turns off. I hear the click. I pour water and cover my cup to let it steep. Meantime, I go back to the app and read the meaning of the verses I read. Once done, I pour milk in my tea, sit and ponder upon what I just read, sometimes returning to the app for commentary on the verses just read. It sounds easy, eh? It wasn't as easy at first, but now it has become automatic, as if I am on autopilot. I remember in the beginning I used to put a sticky note on the kettle each night that said, "Read Quran." Many a times while filling the kettle with water, I would take off the sticky note and forget all about it until I found it on the counter. Sometimes I would forget to put the sticky note on the kettle at night. I then started to put an alarm on my phone to remind me to put the sticky note. But in the end, it all worked out. In no way I'm saying that the 3 minutes it takes my kettle to boil are more than enough to read the Holy Quran. What I am proposing is that this can initiate your daily connection with the Quran. The bonding will perhaps lead to spending more time with it, reading and understanding translations and commentaries, applying it in your daily life. I fell in love with my early morning recitations, understanding the translations, pondering over them during the day, and applying them in my life. Another way of forming this habit would be that you put the Holy Quran near the kettle. That is, if you are a physical book person. Or, for instance, if you have to remember to offer salat, put a prayer mat where it is visible to you so you would remember namaz each time you see it. One might argue that after a while the visual indication may merge with the background, which is true. Then change the spot in the same area, or make it more visually appealing by changing the color of the prayer mat. Problem solve. See what works for you. Take baby steps. Hold what works and change what doesn't until you're on autopilot. This podcast is based on Dr. Naureen Sohail's observations, personal experiences, thoughts, and learning while navigating her own life as a Canadian Muslim.